What is up, YouTube? These are Lost back at you with a brand new video. And the Banlist happened, alright, and it was certainly a Banlist of all time. Brand new Fusion put to 1, and I definitely overreacted when I first saw it. If you've not seen my reaction, go check it out. It's hilarious, by the way. I go from going branded best deck to no. It's very it's going to be something I'll probably reference a lot post Banlist. So what's this video? We're going to have the main deck. It's a 50 card build, so you see Metagames GX, he won with 60 card grass build. You see Galzo, he's got the 40 card build right now. Where I'm in the middle, I've got the 50 card build. So that's going to be fine and dandy. And I do mention them right now. I've seen both of them, and big influence on how I deck build. So if you've not seen them, go watch them. They're great duelists. Now the main deck, next check. And this isn't my side deck. This is cards I think you could definitely play in. I actually want to run all of these in the side. These are cards I definitely think you should be playing in the side in branded for the next format. I'll explain why in a minute when we get to them. But until then, let's look at this deck profile, shall we? And as a heads up, I don't monster spell traps, but there'll be 2 monsters in the spells because of a package I'm playing. We'll explain that more when we get there. Anyway, triple Albaz, triple Aluba, double Cartesia, Quem, and a kit. That's the basic package I'm playing. Of starters or necessary cards. This is necessary to play at 3 and 50 or onwards. The big reason I don't like 2 brand Albaz, like Galzo is playing right now, is because this loses harder to Bestials. Because if you go Brand Fusion, you send Albaz Ubelli and you make Albion on board, right? Albion, in fact, they Bestial away your Albaz. To be able to go do your normal lines, you need the other one in hand. That's less likely to happen if it's there. Or turning to engrave, then it's less likely to happen to be interrupted with 1 Bestial. Having 3 lets you see it more frequently in your hands, which I think is necessary to play, especially with a package I'm playing in this deck. Triple Aluba, that's standard. In 50, I know some people play it 2. I like having a higher monster count in this deck. Again, if you can figure out why, hats off to you. But I do think a bigger monster count is necessary with the package I'm playing. I was actually trying out 3 Cartesia, but I went against it in the end. Because Cartesia, it's too finicky at 3 in my opinion. Even with Triple Albaz, you get hands where you wish it was another card half the time. For me, it was often Brandon and red, Brandon and white. More Brandon white than anything else, really. So I swapped it out for a Brandon white, which you'll see later on. I'll talk about that card later, but this is still no less than 2. And, before we get any further, there is an issue with this deck, and I'll say it now. I'm only on the 1 Grand Guignol. I do not own a second. If you do have a second, I'll point out why I think you could cut a card for the second. I've got the 1 Quem. Again, budget reasons this one. There's no thrust in this deck. And I don't even think I want thrust right now. I don't need it. Do not need it. Yeah, I think it should be 2 Quem though. That probably should be a 2 of. You may cut in red for Quem, or in white. But it's so good to puppet lock, which I'm doing now. And to extend further through hand traps. Because if you have Quem up, and you use Brand Infusion or High Spirits, you can then get Cartesia back, you can then get Kit. It's very good. And this card is mandatory. You now have to play this card. Why? Well, if you're on Fusion Duplication, like you're on Thrust, you banish your Brand Infusion, you're never getting that back outside the Kit. If you go Grasshook Screener, you banish Retribution, add it back, you use it. For turn 3, if you want it again, that's Kit. You have to play Kit right now, and I think it's such a good card anyway. You should be playing it anyway if you want. Especially with High Spirits. And that's it for the main, mandatory cards you have to play in those specific ratios. The next ones are down to deck preference, really, in my opinion. Except for 1, which will be right at the end because it's Puppet, but triple Shrouded Dragon. It's pretty standard to play at camera, hello? Yeah. It's pretty standard to play this at 3 right now. It's foolish for any Brand Spell Trap or Albaz, which Albaz is the main one I actually send, personally. Albaz is Retribution. And because that's most useful for combos. And with the lineup of Shrouded Dragon, it's also an upstart. The only issue I have, Galzo in his 40 card list says you never break on it. I don't think that's true. If you go Shrouded Dragon, put it to bottom, you draw into another Shrouded Dragon, that sucks. You might need something else to play through hand traps. Or if you open like double Shrouded, it's the worst feeling in the world, in my opinion. But I do think in 50, it's something you can definitely do because you're less likely to see 3. I'm personally on double Mercuria, Tragedy. That's for Allure of Darkness, sorry there. If you don't want to play Allure, you want to play a different package, you need thrusts, you can cut the Mercuria down to 1 and play a duplication in that spot. But I'm also not going to be playing Goldsark or Foolishness deck. I think I'm talking about now that these guys are here. I'm not playing either Foolish or Goldsark because I don't think... Well, I didn't have the room. That's a big thing. The secret package I'm playing, it takes up a lot of room. But because of that and the power it gives my deck, I don't think it's mandatory to play those 2 cards. They're good for consistency, yes, but this deck is already super consistent from how I've built it. No, I've not bricked since I built this deck. I'll say this now. I'm not saying it's impossible. Any deck can brick, no matter how much, no matter how consistent it is, no matter. But this deck, I've not bricked with yet. Which is a big thing. I got locals on Saturday, so I'll let you guys know how that goes. So back. Yeah, that's the Mercuria. Basically for the perfect Allure of Darkness bit. Because I'm actually playing less Decius than I normally do. I'm not on the ad libitum. Meaning I'm only on Alubas and Quem Search of this. And typically Aluba. So it's not as useful as Mercuria is, which can add Albaz, Cartesia, Shrouded Dragon, Kit, Quem. This is more useful, hence why it's at 2. And I also like having a second one for Rindbrum, or searching it again. Because I might use the first one on my turn to stop it Bestial. I'll search the second one on their turn when I fuse with Cartesia, or in red, to get an extra interruption to stop Puppet Lock interruptions. The remaining monsters we have, it's the standard Bestial lineup. Again, it's something you could change. Saranir I've seen play, I think, an extra Magmite and Galzos. Sometimes play multiple Saranir because Saranir plus High Spirit is full combo. You do Saranir search, you search Shrouded, you dump Retribution, Shrouded searches Brand Infusion. That's full combo. Or, if you're fearing Droll, Saranir send Brand Infusion, search Springen's Kit, they Droll you, Kit adds it back from the graveyard. So that's a way you can also do this. But that's the standard, but this is standard, and I do think you do not need any more than this, especially in this variant of the deck. And of course we've got the one, Papito Loquito. I'm doing that now. And if this video gets 5 likes, I'm going to do a combo guide. Not combo guide, but some test hands, some combos. Show you how, with this package I'm playing, the deck really can function. Alright, spells. I've got a much bigger branded package this time than I typically do, because without branded fusion, I think you need more ways to fuse. So we have the one branded fusion, which is a very nice secret rare. I'm sad this card's at 1, but it's fine. It more hurts decks that play it as a package, really. It hurts decks like Dark Magician, Voice's Voice, and Chimera, more than it actually hurts branded, which I think is stupid, personally. And because Sanctify wasn't hit, it does mean Konami did expect us, does want us to do this. They want us to do this. They banned Calamity, they banned Matrix, but they left this. That's what they want us to do. That is Konami intervention right there. You're a divine intervention, that's Konami intervention. Triple branded opening, triple fusion deployment, and double high spirits. That is it for the starters of this deck. That is 1, 2, as spell wise. In some spells is the main starter cards. Let's see, that's 9. Literally, I was doing this previously in the past. 9. And that's a perfect ratio, my opinion. High spirits especially is really good because we have so many targets. Obviously, you have every single dragon. So you got your Albazes, you got ye Shrouded Dragons, you got ye Bestials, you got your Winged Beasts, you got your Spellcasters. And we are playing 2 Fiends in that package I mentioned. And those Fiends will send Despy and Quertus to search Springen's Kit of High Spirits to then search another card. It's so good. It is such a good card and it gives you so much follow-up. I do think it's necessary to play it 2. Rather than 1 Lost. I've seen this play in Grassless. I've seen some people play more Lost. That's incorrect. Same for playing multiple Retributions. Don't think that's right. We already have such an amazing grind game thanks to Springing's kit. You're not going to need more Losts or Retributions. One double in red and one high in white. This is a ratio I think is a bit weird, because I notice a lot of people often, and this is like a 60 card ratio here, even though a lot of them don't play it in white. Galzo mentioned it in his video. In white is like the perfect extender. It's the best top deck in the deck, and hands down it is the card I want to play the most in this deck, because its effect of Miracle Fusion comes up so much. You play through Ash, it comes up to play through other hand traps, and on turn 3 it helps you make that final push to just OTK your Fiendsmith or your Bell opponent. And then of course double in rare, there's what it looks like. I've got 2 supers, thankfully. And again, I was talking with Chris from Metagames GX. So if you again another shameless plug here for him. Subscribe to Metagames GX. Subscribe with Galzo in a voice chat, and he mentions to me, you play 2 in red when you're on Puppet, because you use one of them for Puppet locking, and then you use the other one for follow up. And I think that's a very good way to look at things, because I'm testing. I went for Puppet Lock and I'm out of an in red, so I get to turn 4. I need to make Guardian Chimera and I can't. By playing the second in red, it gets you there a lot easier. Now, what is this package I've been alluring to so far? What is this package? Now, if you guessed this, brownie points to you, as my teachers in school would say. It is the Patchwork package. 2 Frightfur Patchwork, 2 Edge Imp Chain, and 2 Poly. And this, of course, this is a Fiend. Now, if you're new to Branded, you might not have seen this package before, and I mean, that's fair enough. It's something we definitely did back in early Branded days to help play through Ash. But why is it back? Why am I playing it, rather? Because it's that good. This could count as non-engine, honestly. Because this is a way to play through Ash, because if you have any access to Albaz in hand, plus Patchwork, or Edge and a discard. So let's say it's just these 2, and we'll get any old card as a discard. Let's go with Tragedy, right? No, Puppet. I'll do Puppet, the actual only card here for this situation. You go Patchwork, you add Edge Imp Chain, and you add Poly. That's a +2 right there. Poly fuses the 2 together, makes Lubellion, right? It says Lubellion. And then you go Lubellion 1, discard, in this case it's Puppet. But you can go Edge Imp 2 to search another Patchwork. You put back Lubellion and Albaz, you make Mirror Jade. I mean, that sounds pretty good to me, right? But then the issues come in, you're only on 1 Poly. 1 Poly is not very good from what a lot of people are used to with the Patchwork package, because traditionally we didn't have a way to cycle this back. But we do now. It's in the extra deck, it's called Magnum the Reliever. It's typically played in Chimera decks. But I think Poly is actually super good as well, because this was going second, it's a board breaker package, because you, let's see, Patchwork add Edge Imp Chain, Poly, right? And as long as you have at least 2 other monsters in your hand, we'll go any old 2. Shrouded and there's no Despy and Tragedy here. Where's Tragedy? There's Tragedy. You can then just go set. That will put alarm bells in your opponent's head, and they're like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? They can't do anything. That's the neat part. Poly, they're fine. You fuse Tragedy plus 2 monsters in your hand for a Guardian Chimera. You go Chimera 1, Tragedy 2, Edge Imp 3. So you chain block the Ash. They can't Ash this, they can't Ash Tragedy. Meaning this guy, he is going to blow some stuff up. They can't target this because you'd have a Poly in the graveyard. And they can't, thus, the only way to stop this is Forbidden Droplet. That's it. And Droplet is not too popular in decks outside of Branded. Right now, from what I've seen. It's a lot more impermanences. Meaning it gives meaning Edge Imp Chain gives you the deck so much more versatility. And I mentioned this earlier, but Edge Imp Chain plus High Spirits is full combo plus some. Because if I find High Spirits real quick, it's High Spirits. your High Spirit. So you have none of these. You just have an Edgent Chain, and you have a High Spirits. And so it's only 2 cards you have. High Spirits, reveal Edgent Chain, sending to the graveyard a card I only got recently, Despy and Quertus, pitch the Edgent Chain. You need to get the Brand Fusion, right? Search Kit, but then you get the card to put back, right? Wait for it. Edgent Chain, search Frightfur Patchwork, add Edgent Chain Poly. Suddenly you can then go Spring and Kit effect, search Brand Fusion, and you can put back either one of these, whichever one you want. And then you got combo from there. You didn't have a discount for Lubellion as well. So yeah, that's why I'm playing the Edgent pack, the Patchwork package. It's so good, and I highly recommend you guys try it as well, because I have been using it and it's been so good right now. For consistency, I'm on, again, mentioned earlier, Triple Allure of Darkness. I've seen some people play Goldstark, Foolish, and Grass on 50. Grass is wrong. I can see because you want to play it in 60 builds. You don't play Grass in 50 because you'll be milling this. A lot of decks are also, Fiendsman decks are playing like 44 cards. You'll be milling 6 compared to 16. And for people who say, I'll be more likely to see Grass in a 50 build compared to 60, yes, but it's not masses. To see one copy of that Grass on screen, which is only that one, in a 50 card build in your opening hand is a 10% chance exactly. To see one Grass in your opening hand in a 60 card build, that's an 8.33% chance. That's basically the same thing. It's slightly less in 60, but it's very damn similar. So you might as well just play it in 60. So yeah, you could cut these for, say, Goldstark, Foolish, Cartesia, or Goldstark, Foolish, Saranir. That's another good one you could do. Or Goldstark, Foolish, Quem, if you have it. Or Thrusts. But it's what I'm personally doing because I find it super good as well with Edgent Chain, who's a dark monster. Thus meaning you can extend further from your allures, or not extend further, but it makes your allures not as dead. Okay, now what's it for the actual non-engine? So say we count Edgent Chain. Say we count the Patchwork package as non-engine real quick, shall we? How much non-engine has this branded deck got? Now, it's not technically non-engine, but it is, really. In my opinion, it is, because it breaks boards, it's super powerful. So, in terms of non-engine, we have, remember, and we'll count Allure as well. Let's count Allure. If we don't, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we count Allure, that is 8 here. That's 8. That's non-engine. And we have a further 3, 6, 9 more non-engine cards. I'm not a great maths, but 9 plus 8, that's 17. So yeah, if you don't count Allure, that's minus 3. That's still 14 non-engine. You're likely to see at least one of these. Even Poly's good to see by itself in some hands. So I don't think that this deck is short non-engine. It definitely helps you get there, and that's why you play 50. You want to do that to get the extra push to play through more interruptions. Alright, non-engine. Cool Buy. And double talents. And Morton Thrust and Omen Thrust. But if you're not on Thrust, I think you've got to play 2 talents right now. Because you want to see talents, but you don't want to see multiples. I know that's not technically the right answer to why you play 2. But I think it's a good answer here. We're on Triple Forbidden Droplet, and we're on Triple Book of Eclipse as the other non-engine. Eclipse is great for dodging impermanences, and Droplet I think is worth testing. Because it'll deal with boards like Fiendsmith Ubel, Fiendsmith Snake-Eye, which is still a big deck by the way. Don't count it out just yet. And I think if you pair like any of these cards together, including Allure, a combination of these 18 cards, 18 card people. No, sorry, 17 cards. A combination of these 17 cards will help break you at that Snake Eye board or Fiendsmith board. Because let's say it's these two. When you use a monster effect, they go Phantom View Bell. You go Cool Buy. You have talents to take. They'll Desiree that. Suddenly, they're only got one more interruption to play through, which you can probably bait out. If you have Droplet plus Eclipse, you Eclipse first. You flip everything face down. They'll try and go chain, say, Varudris, or they go chain Desiree target Eclipse. You could go chain Droplets, then Eclipse plus hopefully a monster. And suddenly, their boards flip face down. You get to play. If they go, and Sequence is gone. If you have Patchwork plus Droplet, Patchwork Search 2, Droplet, then you can send monsters and spells when you need to. And an alert can dig you into further hand interruptions. Of course, look, so this is a great amount of non-engine to play. And if you don't want to count this lot as non-engine, I mean, that's you. I mean, that's fair enough. It's what I personally count as non-engine. That's still here, 3, 6, 9. That's still a good amount of non-engine to play in Branded of Vortex, which has a high engine count. And what's the 50th card of my deck? Well, if you guys know Branded well enough, you should know what this is. It's Retribution. And yeah, that's the deck. I mean, Retribution is even more important than ever, but that is a video by itself. The extra deck. 2 Branded Dragon. A Lubellion. 2 Mirror Jade. And this is standard. My boy Sanctifier. He's legal, guys. He's legal. You can play him. I recommend playing him for Puppet Locks because the deck's a bit weaker now. A bit weaker. Not masses, but I can't say it's full strength now. But it might as well be. And Puppet Locking does severely weaken an opponent's board, meaning you get to play a bit more. We also have a Rindrum because it's standard, and a Titanic Cloud. I cut Albinatus because Tenpai, it's good into Tenpai, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's necessary to beat Tenpai anymore. They're a lot weakened, and often if you can get a Borreload Furious on the board, you can probably beat their board, because if you remove the Sanguine Summoning, game over, typically. Now, because they only have 1 now, so that's great for us. And that is it for the main, not Almaz, the main Almaz names. From the other names, again, I mentioned 1 Grand Mignol, a Coetus, and a Masquerade for the Despia names, because it's a Despia text. If you want to play a second Grand Mignol, you can cut a Masquerade, or, in theory, Magnum the Reliever. That's an issue, though. We'll talk about Magnum or Spelia, but we'll talk about those when we get to... I'll show you the rest of the deck, right? Spelia, Furious, Magnum, and Guardian Chimera. I do think you need to play 2 of this. I think, personally, I would cut a Masquerade to the side deck, but I'm not currently, because it also works well with Patchwork, because you can then infuse, say, Aluba plus Edge Imp, make Masquerade, where you have Crumb on board, summon back Cartesia, play. But, yeah. But you can also make Coetus, but if you had High Spirits earlier, it becomes more of a sticky spot. But I do think you're going to cut anything in here. You got to cut this for second Dust Dragon. 1 Spelia. It's good for Shifter, but most Shifters also suffer with Furious. You got to make the Direct Judgment call. Furious is great into Tenpai. This is Magnum the Reliever. We'll talk about that in a minute, actually. And that's Guardian Chimera standard. These guys are standard. Now, this is Magnum the Reliever. Many of you will not have seen this card before because it's not typically played anymore. It's not typically played more Chimera. So let's read this text together, shall we? I can't see if you can read this. 1 more special from the edge deck, plus a monster on the hand. Target a polymerization or fusion spell in your graveyard. Branded Fusion, hello. Place it on the bottom of the deck, draw a card. So this can recycle your Branded Fusions. So now, or Branded Fusion, sorry. So that 1 of, you can then search again via another Aluba. What else does it do? If it was just that, I wouldn't play this, obviously. When another card or if its effect is activated, so that can be a Runic Fountain on the field going to draw more cards. You can chain this to banish a polymerization spell or fusion spell from your graveyard, target card in the field, destroy it. It's a bit risky, I think, because if you only have Poly and Branded Fusion, you've got to make the judgment call on which one you keep. Typically, I'd actually keep Branded Fusion great to banish because kit, but to each their own. And that's what I personally would be doing. But you can always do it however you play. It also depends on the hands and the situations half the time. Now, what do I think you can play in the side deck? Now, these are some cards I think are very good in the side right now, with the spiciest one at the back. More Bestials. I mean, yeah, it hits Fiends with really hard now. You can hit Engraver, and it actually does something. Nibiru! Nibiru, Appaloosa is gone. Nibiru is suddenly a much better hand trap. Dark Ruler. Again, Dark Ruler, Galzo plays it in his side deck, and you have to play this for Fiend's decks going second. But again, it's something you can also main deck. Evenly matched that you should be playing, because it's great. There is like 1 Omni Negate right now, and you can force it out with an evenly. Well done. Or you force it out earlier, it's even better. So I recommend that. TC Boo, again, Galzo playing this as well. I was already playing this. But I think TC Boo is great. It stops Fiends with Yubel completely, because it locks them into one Fiend, and they can't play from that point. And then do Magical Musketeer, which I know is a deck right now. You can flip TC Boo, and they go Link into the Veins, they'll summon. It says immediately after you Link summon. I'm not the best ruling guy, but I'm pretty sure you can flip this, and they can't then Link, or they'll fizzle or something. Or you resolve as much as you can to summon, but no Link, with no effect. Bright Radiant Random King, again, it's tons of other floodgates, like the Grave of Super Ancient Organisms. I think that's what it's called. Or Anti-Spell, and it's very nice for that purpose. And Spellbound. Now, this is a card I could talk about all day. But the quick rundown, if you've not read this card again, I recommend you do. Always summons your opponent currently controls cannot be tributed or used as material for fusion, synchro, exes, or link summons. That's huge. That stops, other than Pendulum, every single summoning mechanic, because you tribute for rituals, so you can't do that. You fusion, and obviously, I believe they go Close Sky. It's good into any Fiends with deck. They'll go summon Engraver, and then they'll go Snake Eye Ash, summon search Pop Blast, summon Pop Blast, search Divine Temple, Divine Temple, or whatever. Snake Eye Bellstar. Link for 2, Close Sky. You only have this set, you flip Spellbound. They are no more Link summoning. You just told them Link summoning is forbidden. Because they can't link away Close Sky into a Requiem, because they cannot link it with Close Sky. They cannot link to anything unless it points where Close Sky does, which is both on your field. Meaning this one card shuts down Fiendsmith Snake Eye as soon as they go for Close Sky. But yeah, that's it for this video. I greatly appreciate it if you like, comment, subscribe. You know, this YouTube thing. Again, once again, I'm going to say it. Check out Metagames GX. Amazing guy. And Galzo. Until the next one, cheerio.